Hello. Gotta get comfortable, sorry. And welcome to Allie in Sweatpants. My name is Allie. And I am wearing sweatpants. You can see Simon right here. Oh, he's just a baby. We're filming on the phone today. Why, you might ask? Because it's easier. And I didn't charge my camera batteries and my phone is charged. And it's already been so long since the last episode that I was like, something is better than nothing, in my opinion. Some may disagree. Anyway, it's been a very long time. It feels like a lot has happened, especially in California. We had crazy scary wind, and then we had crazy scary fire, and then we had kind of scary rain, which turned into crazy scary mudslides. So all of that on top of the general show of the country right now. So we're here today. I thought I saw a spider. I don't think I did. We are here today to just talk about knitting, talk about yarn. I don't have all my finished projects since we last spoke. The ones that I don't have, I showed on Vlogmas. I'm fairly certain most of them anyway, so you can go check those out if you would like. I do have finished objects, I do have works in progress, and I have a big acquisitions section, which is very exciting because it's been Christmas and my birthday. It's also been the podcast-iversary. I think February 9th is when I posted my first video. And it's crazy because in that video, I remember saying that I had just turned 25. And now I have just turned 28. Where are the years going? My heart's actually pounding. We'll move on. So let's talk about knitting. What I'm wearing, I technically made this for my boyfriend and I have effectively stolen it. It is the Jan sweater. I talked about this sweater in my free patterns video part 1. It's a men's pattern and these are kind of the colors in the sample photo and I just love it. It's the brown and the white are a cotton linen blend from Knit Picks, and the gray, this color, is a cotton modal blend. So that's what I'm wearing. Let's get into finished objects. I'll start with the simultaneously most exciting and most disappointing. And that is my loom pullover by Sorry Nordland. I feel like you can already see the problem just by me holding it up. It's just a no. I am going to tear it out, which makes me sad because I did knit it as a knit along with my WhatsApp knitting friends. And mine just turned out wrong. I knit the 5th size, which is just too big. I used a 5mm needle throughout, which my gauge is just off. My gauge is huge. You'll see the color work comes way lower on the body than it's supposed to. But I used Lion Brand's Fisherman Wool in the brown heather and like the white. And it's really lovely. So, okay. So the color work is supposed to stop here. Like, so this replaces a bottom flower motif that she has in the pattern that to me kind of looks like sand dollars. So my brain is like, we can't have sand dollars with leaves and flowers. So I switched it to another one of these leaf motifs, but going in the opposite direction of the one on top. And I really like how it looks. However, it's just, I mean, it falls where I want it to on my body, like if I was wearing it with pants. But the the yoke is so deep that, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do anything with my arms. Like I can't even like hug someone. So I'm thinking of knitting it again. Maybe in the same yarn, maybe not in the same yarn. I'm definitely gonna go down a size, and I'm definitely gonna knit it in 4.5 millimeter needle instead of 5 millimeter needle. I'm gonna do the same modification. Also on the sleeve, I only managed to fit the 2 motifs. They're supposed to be flowers, but yeah. So it's kind of sad. This is by Sorry Nordlund, if I didn't already say that. It's a beautiful pattern. It's been on my, wow, it's really warm. It's been on my to knit list for years, and my execution was not it at all, which is sad, but I really enjoyed making it. I started it, well, my group and I started it on New Year's Eve, which was really fun. We all did a New Year's Eve cast on party together. And then I put it aside for a while to focus on another project I will talk to you about. So yeah, it's just a bummer that it didn't work out, but it's okay. I had fun making it. I will say these flowers felt like an eternity to make. But yeah, so it's going to get frogged, which, my nose is so itchy today, I'm sorry. I feel like my hair looks bad. What was I saying? Oh, another fun thing that I want to try to do this year is I think I'm going to log my yarn in and yarn out every month. Just because it sounds kind of fun and I'm kind of curious. Let me just tell you, the yarn in this month is a lot. So trying to be net negative or net neutral is going to probably not happen this month, but I definitely will not be buying yarn every month the way that I have this month. It was my birthday month. I treated myself. Sue me. So that's my Lumi. It's been a minute and it's getting frogged, but it's okay. So I truly don't think I can edit around all of this nose itching, so I just apologize in advance. Okay. So my next, I almost roly-polied over. My next finished object is an Oslo hat by Petite Knit. This is, she released an update for the Oslo hat, and it now contains like way more sizes. Like there's baby and kid sizes. I think she might have merged the original pattern and the mohair pattern or something. So I didn't realize it, but I followed the new version, which is actually different stitch count, and it's actually a different needle size too, which I didn't realize. So I was using the original needle size. It worked out, it's fine. So I made So if you have the largest, I didn't make the second largest, but I made the one after that. It was originally going to be for my dad, but I'm going to send it to my sister. She moved to a much colder country 3 weeks ago, and my parents are sending her like a package with her stuff in it, and so I'm going to put this in there. I used the 100% alpaca fleece Inca spun that I bought in Italy. It's very, very beautiful. Well, here's the color in the lot if you're interested. No, can you see that? Can you see that? Maybe not. I bought this gray and a beautiful like mid-brown color when I was in Italy, and I gave half of the brown to Martina. And so we have, we both have the yarn. And then I got 400 grams of this gray color, which I was going to make myself a garment out of, but I find this alpaca kind of itchy for me, which is kind of funny, but anyway. So I'm finding uses for it because it is a beautiful yarn and it's so soft. I was going to make my dad a sweater with it, but it just wasn't enough yarn, and then I was trying to figure out how to order like supplemental yarn, and so I think I'm going to make people beautiful accessories with it. So I'll probably make my dad a hat like this, and then Chris saw this hat and he really liked it, so you might be seeing more of these charcoal gray alpaca Oslo hats. But I love the Oslo hat pattern. I have quite a few friends who have tried to knit it and had real issues with it. They just never have hats that seem to fit. I've never had a problem. They've always turned out really, really beautifully for me. So I guess proceed with caution if you've never made it before. But I just think, especially now with the expanded size range, I think you should be totally fine. There's definitely a size for everyone, probably. Definitely, probably. So, okay, my next finished object I am so proud of. And I'm really sorry because I'm not going to recommend the pattern that I used for these because I had a lot of problems with it. And so I don't want to recommend it and lead you guys astray. But it was a free glove pattern. And one of the only things Chris has ever asked me for is a pair of gloves. And I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off. I was like, I'm not knitting all these fingers. I'm not doing it. And then months ago, I was watching Iveta from the Iveta Bauman channel, and she made gloves. And I was talking to her about it, and she was like, it really wasn't that bad. Like, just try it. So I did, and I did it. Go me. They fit him perfectly. For the first glove, each finger I would just measure on his hands, and then I would write down how many rows it was, and then I just copied it for the second glove. Now, speaking of the second glove, so the pattern that I followed, which is irrelevant, has a right and a left hand. I did the right hand, and then I did the left hand, and the fingers were literally like all twisted and sideways. It looked crazy. I think I took a picture. If I did, I'll insert it. It just looked awful. And I gave it to Chris anyways, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything, and if he doesn't notice, then we're good. I gave it to him. He tried it on and he went, the left one is kind of pulling weird on my hand. So I was like, give it back. So I knit 2 right hand gloves, and it's fine. The yarn that I used, let me grab it. I thought I was prepared. The yarn that I used is the Knit Picks Stroll Tweed Fingering Weight yarn in the Lost Lake Heather colorway. It's a really beautiful blue leaning green, I would say, and it's 65% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon, 10% Donegal tweed. And it's really soft. I had a white color, and I've made myself a pair of socks, and I've made Chris a pair of socks. And then with this color, I had 4 balls. And with 2 of them, I made Chris a pair of socks for Christmas, which I showed in my Vlogmas. And then with the remainder of those 2 balls, I made these mittens. And this is what I had. Like, I didn't even use 100 grams for the socks and the gloves combined. So I would recommend giving that a shot depending on how much yarn you use for your socks. But for these, I knit them on a 3.25 millimeter needle. I did 9-inch circulars all the way up to the fingers. And then for the fingers, I did magic loop with 3 millimeter, only because I already had 3 millimeter connected to this cord, and I was too lazy to put on the 3.25 millimeter interchangeable tips. That's the only reason that the fingers are in a 3 millimeter and the hands are in a 3.25. But it worked out perfectly fine. So if you've been considering gloves, but you've been scared of the fingers, I'm with you. I mean, as you can see, I have not tucked in the ends. I'm still scared of the fingers. But if I can do it, you can do it. I don't like magic loop, and the fingers, they go by super quick. I finished every single finger on the second glove last night, and it took me like an hour and a half. You can do it if you want to. If you don't want to, I understand. I would love a pair for myself now, of course, but we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. So there you go. Gloves, finished object. Then my last finished object that I have here to show you is another pair of socks for Chris. So I did a yarn order of a bunch of sock yarns from Etsy, and it had this drop space that I had never heard of before or seen before, only to learn that it was a new base. But it was the Drops Fiesta yarn, which is a DK weight wool nylon blend. And I got it in this green, well, I got a few different colors, but I got it in this green color because Chris loves green. And so now he has these really thick, cozy DK weight socks. I knit these on 3.25 millimeter needles, and I did 48 stitches, which I was worried. I was originally doing 56, and I got to like here, and I was like, I think that these are gonna be way too big. And he was like, I think it'll be fine. And then I knit a little bit more, and I was like, look at them. And he did, and he was like, I think those are gonna be too big. So I ripped back and I did 48 stitches, and they fit him perfectly. So Drops Fiesta vanilla DK weight socks. I will say these have been worn, washed, and dried, and they are not as soft as they were straight off the needles. that could be a combination of things. It could be my laundry soap. It could be the fact that I put them in the dryer. I mean, it could be so many things, but just a note, it feels really, really soft in the ball while you're working with it as soon as it's finished. But it just feels like a little bit more rustic after you wash and dry it, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, that's these. I also finished another pair of socks that have been gifted, and they were huge. I mean, they were comically large, but they fit the recipient perfectly, so that was the goal. I used Regia cotton sock in one of their around the world colorways, and I used a 2.5 millimeter needle, and I did 72 stitches, which I've never done a 72 stitch sock before. And the foot, so from the like from this part of the heel to before the toe was, oh man, what was it? It was like 26 centimeters or something. It was the biggest sock I've ever made. I took a picture with one of my socks overlaid on those socks, and it was hilarious. So I had a full 100-gram skein of sock yarn, and this is what I have left. So it was like this periwinkle blue, some pinks, some sky blues, and that was really the gist of the yarn. But how funny is that? That's all I have. And so, okay, this is what I had left from Chris's gloves. This is what I have left from the socks. And these are what I have left from Chris's DK socks. Isn't that so funny? They're like all basically the same amount. I don't know. I just thought that was so funny. So yes, I knit those. Oh, big sigh. You have to see him right now. An angel. So we will move on to works in progress. I only have two. I only have two active works in progress, really. The first is a sweater for my dad. I want to say it's called the Lazy Days Pullover. If I'm wrong, the title will be on the screen as always. But it is a vanilla sweater. It's top down, but it has a shawl collar, which my dad really likes. It's black. My dog has a lot of white fur. I'm apologizing in advance. If fur grosses you out, I am sorry. So, oh, it's so hard to show. Oh, I was not expecting it to be this hard to show. Maybe I should have put it on a hanger. Does not. Okay, there, you can kind of see. So here's the collar, and I have done one sleeve, and I am working my way through the body. So there's a lot of short rows in this pattern. There's a lot of break your yarn and go to another spot, which I don't love, but the result is turning out beautifully. Now, this sweater almost ended my knitting career, and I'm not being dramatic. This collar, she's stunning. I mean, if you want a shawl collar, that's a stellar shawl collar, in my opinion. And it's double knit. Now, you might ask why that is a big deal. I wondered why that would be such a big deal. I love double knitting. It's so relaxing. It's a nice rhythm. For this double knitting, I had about 100 stitches on the needles at all times. You double knit once, you do a decrease, you double knit back, you double knit again, you do a decrease. And that's how you work your way up and around the collar. And you pick up over 100 stitches. You can do the math. This collar weighs over 150 grams. Okay? Are we seeing where the neck pickup is and the amount of double knitting? And it goes, I mean, that's all double knitting, guys. This is all double knitting. For those who don't know what double knitting is, it means you knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one. On the opposite side, you knit the ones you slipped and you slip the ones you knit. So your one row takes 2 rows to complete. Okay. I had promised my dad this sweater in 2 different yarns. He will get this sweater in 2 different yarns. He will not get this double knit collar in 2 different yarns. I am going to do this collar in garter stitch for his second, because this is beautiful. I mean, it looks like a reversible, both sides look like stockinette. It's very thick, it's very squishy. I assume it will be very warm, but I'm not doing that again. Okay? So I'm knitting the 5th size of this pattern. I do think it's going to be kind of roomy on my dad, but I would rather it roomier than too tight. I don't know what else I wanted to say about it, really. The only thing I'm noticing when I have my dad try it on and when I have Chris try it on is the back is way lower than the front. And the only German short rows, I think, is when you're shaping the back. Is that right? Like when you're shaping the shoulders. I don't know if that's right, because I do remember while knitting it, oh, the other German short rows are at the cap of the sleeve. So that's why I think there's a lot of German short rows. So there's German short rows on the back of the shoulder. I'm pretty sure there's some on the front of the shoulder, both sides. Like that's how you kind of shape it. And then there are German short rows for the sleeve cap. But I was saying, the back is quite a bit longer than the front, in the sense that when I have him try it on, the back is like, without the ribbing, already hitting more or less where we want it, and the front is like at the ribs. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I'm going to finish knitting the ball that I'm currently using and reassess from there. I should say what yarn I'm using. You might be curious. I am using Patton's Evermore, which is it's like 95% recycled wool and then tweed. I really like it. I really, really like it. However, there are demon weeds in this yarn. I mean, I've worked with some wool before that has had hay in it and, you know, all those cute plants, right? These are not cute plants, and I'm on my 5th ball of yarn, and they've all had it. I've taken pictures. The plant matter in this yarn is spiky. It's spiky, it's sharp, and like you can't leave it in. You can't just leave it in because it hurts, like it's sharp. I've been collecting it all, okay, like that's a lot, and just sort of, I don't know, for my own satisfaction, see how much of it is there at the end of the project. But so I will say that about this yarn is there are really mean plants wound into, oh no, I lost my, I lost my needle stopper. Oh, there he is. Little ghosty. My sister got me a set of ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns for Christmas. But anyway, I'm really liking the yarn. I love that it's recycled wool. I think anytime we can buy something that we want that doesn't contribute to new production is amazing. But I don't love those weeds that are all up in it. I mean, I don't. But that's okay. I'll just pick them out. I do have this yarn in 4 other sweaters quantities, and I'm very curious to see if these demon weeds are throughout all of the colors and all of the batches. So that's my dad's sweater. It's pretty much what I've been monogamously working on. I take afternoons here and there for other projects, but that's been my main. That shawl collar took me 17 days of consistent knitting. Just a warning, it looks stunning, but it was literally a pain. So, my last active work in progress is a sweater for Chris that I wanted to have done for Christmas, and it didn't happen. And because it didn't happen, please don't lick the pillow. What are you doing? What are you doing, Sassy? Oh my God, he's so cute. Because it didn't happen for Christmas, my brain was like, well, just give up. Don't work on... Don't lick the pillow, honey. No. I said don't lick the pillow, and he literally stuck his tongue out and just left it on the pillow. I'm going to show you him again. Don't lick the pillow. Sassy boy. Okay. Sorry for all the interruptions. So because I didn't finish it in time for Christmas, my brain was like, just give up. It's not worth it. Welcome to the inner workings. But it is worth it because look at how pretty. So this is the Norfolk sweater. I have one for myself in the same yarn but different colors. This is the Lion brand Touch of Linen. I don't know, in the navy blue color and the white color. And this sweater is so fun to make. Mine was my first ever color work sweater pattern, and it totally sold me on the whole color work thing. And I really, really wanted to have matching sweaters with Chris by Christmas and take a really cute couple photo in front of our Christmas tree. It didn't happen. You're being very cute. It didn't happen, which makes me sad, but it can happen next year and it's all okay. So I had him try mine on, which is the 4th size, and it fits him very nicely, except it needed to be longer. Mine stops here. Is that right? No. I don't know. Mine stops somewhere here. And in my brain, I was like, phew, glad that's done. Had him try it on. And I was like, oh, that I didn't knit extra. Like that's just to pattern. That's not long enough. So I've started adding in this motif repeat. And I'm hoping that that will be long enough on its own. This sweater is constructed so interestingly. I don't know if there's like a word for this type of shoulder construction, but you like knit the back and then you pick up and you knit the panel and then you pick up for the sleeve. I've never done a construction like that before this sweater. I find it fascinating. I find it a lot of fun to do. So I would highly recommend this pattern if you would like a nice beginner color work project. What else is there to say? It's knit on, I haven't talked about the size of needles for anything I'm making. I am knitting it on 5mm needles, so it goes fairly quickly. However, this yarn does shrink once it's been washed. So maybe you can see it's kind of an open gauge. And here is like a fake swatch that I knit when I was knitting mine, just to see how much it would shrink when it was washed and dried. Like, it closes up quite a bit, and that is a problem I had with mine. It's now smaller than is my preference, but it's fine. So yes, I'm excited. The collar will be white, and I'm really looking forward to it. The yarn that I'm using was actually intended for a different sweater, which is another one we're frogging. And it is what was supposed to be my Christmas sweater. Womp, womp, womp. Now, I took inspiration from the Knitting for Olive Christmas sweater that came out this year, or last year. Happy 2025. But I wanted to try to make it my own, so I like hodgepodged patterns together. I'm pretty sure the snow in the Knitting for Olive sweater is double stitched, which I didn't want to do. I just wanted to do color work, but I really wanted the snow to look not uniform, like as if like real snow was falling. So I made a whole chart, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm killing it. As you can see, the snow does not look random. It definitely has formed a pattern. And not only that, but it was tight around my tummy, which is a big fat no for me. So I had started the trees. So I've literally kept this unfrogged this whole time. I've literally kept this unfrogged this whole time so I could show the snow issue on here, because I had a lot of you guys who were very excited for the Christmas sweater. I was very excited for the Christmas sweater, and I felt like if I didn't show you the issue, there would be disappointment. So that's where we're at with that. Acquisitions. As I said, it's been my birthday. It's been Christmas in the other order. So I have a lot to talk about. And I love it all, and I'm excited about it all. So the first things I'm going to talk about are knitting books. I was kindly gifted from my dear friend Martina from the We Grow Wild channel this beautiful book. So this is by Claudia Quintanilla. It's called Memory Lane, and it's by Lane Publishing. I'm sure you have all seen it. I mean, I feel like all the big podcasters were talking about it, and I have it. And I feel so lucky. I feel so lucky to have it. I feel so lucky to have a friend who wanted to gift it to me. I just feel so lucky. Now there's a few patterns in here that I have my eye on, but there's two in particular. I think is stunning. I'd really like to make that. And then the El Naranjo, I hope. I also think is stunning. I think it has beading in it, which I won't do, but I just think that like plant motif is so pretty. So thank you again, Martina. I treasure all of my knitting books so much. And I also treated myself to Arctic Knits by, her name, embarrassingly, I do not know how to pronounce her name. I'm very sorry. She was the Petite Knitter, but has rebranded to Saskia & Co. I'm sure everyone knows who she is. But again, I have my eye on almost every pattern in here, but especially the Arctica jacket, jumper. I think it's so pretty. And the Pingo jumper. Let's see here. Where's the best picture? I guess we'll just do this one. Oh my god, I can't see what you're seeing. It's very pretty. Anyway, I highly recommend this book. I have heard that there are some issues, like the gauge and the needle sizes in the book don't correspond to what they are on Ravelry. I don't know anything about that. I do know that there was some errata for 2 of the hat patterns in here, but I just wrote in what they were supposed to be. Same with this one. There's one errata for the Azul sweater. I wrote it in. I actually spent an entire morning correcting all the errata in all of my knitting books. If you have the Knitting for Olive English knitting book, please, please, please make sure you check the errata page. There's a lot of misprints, missing information, typos, a lot. So before you try to knit any of the patterns and get frustrated, and please check the errata. But these are the 2 books that I got that I love. And now the yarn. I feel overwhelmed. I'm going to try to go in order of Christmas and then birthday. So, first and foremost, I participated in a Christmas yarn swap, and my partner was Medea from the Anything by Medea channel. It's a beautiful channel. She talks about her knitting. She talks about the beautiful home that her and her partner are working to renovate. I highly recommend checking her out. But we did a swap and I felt so bad. International shipping is insanely expensive. I don't understand. And so I felt so bad that she got me as a partner. She just got one little skein and some little gummy treats from Trader Joe's. And she sent me 2 beautiful skeins and like so many different snacks and tea. She sent me these one things. They were like, if you know what bugles are, I'll put a picture. They're like bugles, but less salty. So like corn chips dunked in chocolate. And they were heavenly. They were less salty than bugles. And they were still crunchy. Like they'd been dipped in chocolate, but they were still crunchy like a chip. I don't know, but they were phenomenal. I'm heartbroken that I can't find them here. And I will just dream about them until I visit Sweden. So she sent me 2 sock yarns. This one is from Garn Bolaget. Sorry. I believe it was a hand dyer in Sweden who ended up closing. I don't think you can see what that says. Who ended up closing shop. This says 75% wool, I'm assuming, and 25% polyester. I'm not sure what the color name is, maybe Hoshove. I don't know, but it's these beautiful oranges and yellows. It's like a citrus sherbet type of colorway. I have a feeling it will self-stripe, which is very exciting. But yes, she sent me this, and then she sent me this. So this is from Hjartegarn, maybe? Long colors, 75% soft superwash wool, 25% nylon, and it is soft. It is so lovely. So here it's like pinks and mauves and almost grays and almost purples, and it's like almost a little bit irregularly spun. I don't know. It's so interesting. I'm so excited to see how both of these work up. So thank you again, Maria. Really, thank you. And then, oh boy. And then we went to Solvang here in California, and there was a maker's market, like a craft fair going, and there was a lavender booth, and they had yarn from their little flock of sheep. So it's called the Santa Rita Hills Lavender Farm, and it just says 100% estate raised wool. They only had this cream undyed color, and I just couldn't resist. I was like, oh my God, what are the chances? So I got one skein of this, and then for Christmas, my mom got me a sock set, a micro sock set from Legacy Fiber Arts called Vintage Christmas, which is really fun. My mom and I love Sue and Chelsea. We love watching Legacy Fiber Arts together. And so it's just special. We like to gift each other Legacy yarn. And then Chris got me a little sock set that I asked for. It looked a lot different online, I will say. It's the Patons Croix socks in the copper colors. Colorway. It was a lot less muted online, but this is 50 grams, and it's 75% wool and 25% nylon. So yeah, Chris got me a 2-pack of those. And then I saved this till last just so I could show it all at the same time. My friend Sarah sent me a package all the way from Germany. You're not ready. You're not ready. So she, I hope, is going to be starting a yarn dyeing business. And if she does and is able, I will share her store details once they become available. But she's incredibly talented at yarn dyeing. I'm blown away every time she shows photos of what she's done. But she sent me 2 yarns that she dyed. This was the first one that I opened. I opened these on Vlogmas. Here's her label. How freaking cute is that? She created it herself. Stop it. But look at the color. Ooh, every time I look at it, I'm blown away. Look at the colors. I can't wait. So this is a sock yarn. And then she sent me another sock yarn. She named this Allie in Snow Pants. How cute is that? She named it Allie in Snow Pants, and it's, oh. I wish you could see better. I mean, it is beyond stunning. I cannot wait to see what she continues to create. It's unbelievable. So it's 75% super fine, I'm assuming superwash merino, and 25% polyamide as the base. So talented. And then she sent me, oh my God, it's so special. She sent me some more yarn. Why is this so special? You might be asking. I'll tell you why. So now I'm not sure if that is superwash wool or if it's just wool, but it's SCHUWOLLE. I'm assuming it's maybe superwash wool. So it's 65% wool and 35% alpaca. It's 50 grams. And I am pretty sure she told me these are from her alpaca, her family's alpaca, local alpaca. It's local to her. And she said every batch is going to be slightly different because the weather can, impact the fur, wool, the alpaca. I mean, so many different things can affect how the fiber turns out and the color and the this and the that. So it's always going to be slightly different. But she said that this year's was particularly nice and soft. And so I can't believe it. It's so nice. It's luscious. It's so, so beautiful. So I have 150 grams and I want to think of the absolute perfect thing to do with it. It's 200 meters per 50 grams, so it's a fingering weight yarn. And it just has to be perfect. I want to make something I'm going to use all the time. So I'm considering a bralette. I'm considering a hat. I could do a scarf, but I don't wear scarves a ton. Mittens would be stunning, but again, I don't wear those. Like, I want it to be something that I like touch and use all the time because it is so incredibly special to me. I'm telling you, she is so talented. Thank you, Sarah. She also sent me some goodies, like some treats and some stitch markers, but she also made, which again, so talented, this project bag. It's so cute. And I haven't used it because I wanted to keep it nice for showing, for showing you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I cannot wait to start using it now. It is so, 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 so cute. I don't even know how you go about making this, but it's beautiful. So she does also make stunning, clearly, project bags. So Sarah, thank you. A million times over, thank you. Okay, so that was all of my Christmas December yarn. So we will now move into my birthday / personal acquisitions. So the yarn that I got for my birthday, I got these from my sister, which are the Knit and Crochet hand-painted sock wool, 75% superwash merino fine wool and 25% polyamide. I'm pretty sure that this is a Joanne Fabrics specific yarn brand, but she got me two. She got me this beautiful like ocean lake water blue, and then this beautiful like berry red color, and they're really soft, like really, really, really soft. I've never felt sock wool this soft before. And then my mom got me another Legacy Fiber Arts set. And it's so funny, she handed this to me and she was like, I hope you remember why I ordered this, because I don't remember. And it's called No, You Get Murdered. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. But I was like, I don't know. We've never talked about a colorway called that. I've never seen a colorway called that. And it came with this DK Mini, which was my cue. I was like, Mom, I think you've ordered me their mystery sock set for the year, which is Schitt's Creek inspired. I have not seen Schitt's Creek. My mom loves Schitt's Creek. So, I mean, I love the color. Absolutely love it. But it's just funny because she was like, I don't remember why this was like an in joke for us, but I got it for you. I was like, it's not an in joke for us, but I love it anyway. So, very excited to knit with this. This is like a silver stellina mini, which is always just kind of fun. And I will say that when I get mystery skeins, I'm never disappointed. And I think it's because I never know what to expect. Like when I have expectations of what a colorway is gonna look like, I can be disappointed by what I get. But when it's a mystery, like sock club or whatever, or like I did 4 Sundays of Advent from Legacy Fiber Arts and a Homespun House. And so each Sunday of Advent, you get a micro sock set. And I love them all. I wasn't disappointed by a single one because I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what the point of telling you that was, but there you go. So the other thing I treated myself to, because a few of the ladies in my group were knitting with unspun yarn, talking about unspun yarn. I've seen it all over the place. And I'm like, what's the hype? What's the fuss? Let me in. Let me in on the, let me in on the secret. What do we love about it? Why do we love it? So I went on Ravelry and I looked at people destashing Nutidin, and I found this woman who was getting rid of these really fun, like, mixed skeins. I think that they're like, what are they called? Mill ends, or I think it's when the machine switches from one color to the next. You get these fun mixed cakes. The colors are so deep. I mean, it's hard to show on camera, but my plan is, and I would love to know if any of you have done this. Have any of you held Nutidin single? Not with mohair, not double, not with anything else, truly just single. Because that was my plan. I would love to hold it single and make a stripy, scrappy sweater with all of these colors. Thoughts, feelings, opinions? Have you done it? Would you recommend it? LOL, that just fell and broke. It's definitely very delicate. Did that just fall and break from like a midway point? Oh God, okay, okay. We might be in disaster zone. Yes, okay, that broke off midway. Oh, wait. Okay. We're all good. We have all the pieces now. We're gonna do surgery after this is done. But yes, it's very delicate. It's gonna be a huge adjustment trying to work with it. But my friend Kayla heard that I wanted to do this Nutidin adventure, and she was like, I have some extra Nutidin. Would you like me to send it to you? And I was like, sure, if you want to. So she did, which was so nice of her. And it is this insanely stunning, you can't even. When I film on my good camera next, I'll show you guys. But it's this stunning pink and purple and yellow and mauve marl. And I think it goes perfectly, you can't see them, but with all the other nude tint colors that I bought. So there was that. We're almost done, I promise. And then, I know that's ugly. I know that's horrible. She says her name beautifully. Other podcasters say her name beautifully. I am disappointed in myself that I cannot also say it beautifully. But the woman who runs Fiber Tales. Also, let me just clear up. I did not mean her name is ugly. Her name is not ugly. Her name is beautiful. Poetry. Angelic, in my opinion. What's ugly is how I pronounce it. And I hate how I pronounce it. That's what's ugly, not her name. But she came out with her yarn. I have had my eye on this for years, but because I am only recently diving into the world of wool, I had never even considered purchasing it before. And then it came out, and it was right around my birthday, and I was like, do we treat ourselves? And the answer is yes, we treat ourselves. So I got her gray color. There was this gray and there was a charcoal gray. And I really loved the charcoal gray. However, this one is like 50% her parents' wool and 50% wool from like right down the road from her. And the other one, the charcoal that they had to mix it with, was not local to her. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to buy kind of a novelty yarn, I want it to really represent the novelty. So I went with this color, which is really exciting because I love this like mid-gray academic sports gray color. And I'm just going to make a vanilla sweater out of it. And I am super excited. It's definitely the most rustic, wool that I have now. But it's not crazy. It's not, it's soft to the touch, but there are long hairs, and on my neck I can definitely feel that it's like a little bit sensitive, but who knows what it's like once it's washed and blocked. Her garments that she's knit out of it, I mean, the halo on it is cuckoo bananas. So yeah, I got 4 of these and I'm so excited. They feel like a treasure. And then last but not least, I also treated myself to a yarn that I've had my eye on for a very long time. But I never purchased any because I was like, it's the creme de la creme. It's the cream of the crop. It's so expensive. I definitely can't afford it. And then I looked on the website and I was like, a sweater's quantity is like $77, which is not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. However, I have bought other sweaters quantities for like $150 and been okay with that, but somehow thought that this was out of my budget, which it is. But all that to say, it's just not as expensive as I thought it was. And that is Knitting for Olive. So I got a sweater's quantity of the Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in the slate green colorway, which is 100% organic, traceable, ethical wool, which is a big selling point for me, obviously. And the thing that finally sold me, it looks black on camera. It is a very dark green, but it's heathered. So it's heathered with lighter green shades. The thing that finally sold me is Knitting for Olive's marketing team. They posted 2 videos on Instagram showing adult sweaters and children's garments and how the yarn has held up. They've shown how many years the garments have been worn. The adults was like the frequency, the children was how many kids wore the garments, and they never depill those garments. And I was like, you got me, Knitting for Olive. You sold me. So I got the slate green, and then in their no waste wool, I got a sweater's quantity of the slate green again, and the Thundercloud, which is just a nice dark gray color. This is fingering weight, and I'm gonna hold it on its own, and I would really like to find a textured sweater pattern that I can use this for, because I think that will make a fingering weight sweater feel slightly more substantial than if it was just in stockinette. So if you know any that you like, please let me know. I would be very, very interested. But again, this one, I think I'm gonna just do a vanilla sweater and really let the yarn just shine. But yes, that is all of my acquisitions. That's all of my projects. That's just everything. That's Simon. So yes, I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that we were able to just like chill out together a little bit, you know, talk about our knitting, talk about yarn. Please comment what you're working on if you feel comfortable doing so. Hearing from you guys makes this feel more real. It makes it feel like I'm not just talking to myself. It really kind of solidifies the idea of like, oh, I have friends watching me and like interacting with me. So anything you would like to say, I would love to chit chat with you in the comments. I hope you've been well. If you haven't been, I hope things are looking up for you, and let's all just knit what makes us happy, you know? Knit what makes us happy. And on that note, I will be back when I have more to talk about. Bye.